again, this time of year, we have the weather, it changes so fast. And some of the same cities that have people cleaning up after Friday, Saturday, even Sunday's storms, they need to keep an eye to the sky once again today because we have more severe weather expected. This morning, 5 minutes, 6 minutes after 7 o'clock Central Time. It's in the morning. Sun just recently rising, and we already have dew points, which are in the upper 60s and low 70s. If there's one indication this time of year to pay attention to the weather, it's when you start off real soupy. And looking at some of these dew points, this morning, Oklahoma City sitting at 69 degrees with that dew point. Dallas already sitting at a 71-degree dew point. And we had storms yesterday, actually some significant storms moving through the Texas Metroplex. Marissa, we're looking at the moisture right now. Not a ton to show for on radar. We have a semblance of maybe a warm front trying to organize somewhat, moving through the Ohio River Valley. We've got that risk for later this afternoon through Tennessee. But the storms that will develop later today will be thanks in part to that moisture that's already beginning to stream north, right?
Yeah, paying attention to the dry line, that'll be the initiation. And then also paying attention to the cold front. Noticing another day where we have that level 4. This has been quite the stretch of severe weather. Their introduction of that level 4 out of 5 right over Oklahoma, OKC, Tulsa, Joplin, down towards Ardmore, the I-35, but also not losing sight the level 3, level 2. If we've seen one thing proven over the past couple of days is you don't have to be in the bright magenta to have the worst weather. And so remembering that anybody who's highlighted is fair game, though higher likelihood where you have the higher rating there.
We saw in a way that yesterday, some of the storms that we'll talk more about coming up in a little bit, playing out in Colorado, removed from where that greatest potential was. Very close though. It's these fronts too that sometimes can produce some of the most challenging forecasts from a storm perspective, where the storms will ultimately develop. This system, though, what we're going to see play out at the surface is only supported by a pretty robust upper level pattern, a significant trough that when you look at the pacing, the speed, it is going to take its time moving out of the plains. But I mean, we're beginning to see that move already take place, right? The threat's going to be shifting. But uniquely from overnight, the SPC upgrading eastern Oklahoma, among some of the highest risk that we have today from a tornado perspective, because some of these afternoon storms that could develop, they will have an easy opportunity to twist. And that's going to be maybe what we see the mode play out initially with some of these storms later today.
Yeah, the indications from the SPC of strong to intense tornadoes, especially where you have that darker shade of red, which unfortunately does include, portions of Kansas into Oklahoma. The thought here that as we head further into the day, any daytime heating, any cloud breaks is really going to help make this atmosphere even more volatile. And so you start to see these cells pop by this afternoon. Again, notice it's that dry line also that's going to play a role in terms of where you just have very to the east. I mean, dew points are in the 70s. Yeah. Very hot.
It's been described as messy today, a messy convective element to the storm mode where we could be dealing with multiple clusters. That dry line is going to play a part. Also this approaching cold front. That cold front is going to meet up with the dry line throughout the day. So it is, though, right through Tornado Alley, Kansas, Oklahoma, that we have to pay most attention to some of these storms. And they will be marching east through Missouri and eventually Arkansas.
So you also have the warm front draped from northwest to southeast. So also never sleep on a warm front. That's what Stephen Morgan always says. And honestly, I'd pay attention to that too today.